Maybe you have a thing here. Is it my turn?
No, it's actually my turn.
20 seconds?
Yes.
Are we still doing that? That's insane.
I like it.
Okay, let's go.
Know.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
Welcome back to Spoonsville.
Hi.
And we are covering My Happy Family. Mm-hmm. Yes. And as always, now, we give ourselves 20 seconds, my turn now, to explain the brief synopsis of the movie before we dive right into it.
Yeah.
All right, starting now. So, the main character, Manana, is her name, and it follows her as she finally just can't take any more of her family, and she moves out, gets her own place, and the movie is dealing with the family, trying to get her back, and so confused about what she's going through, and all the interconnected things.
That's pretty good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wait, how do I stop this?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So initially they're living it's in a multi-generational household. So you have Manana's mom and dad, and Manana and the husband, Soso, and then their kids living there. And one of their kids the daughter is engaged or married. Actually married, right? Yeah.
Okay. One of them.
Yeah. The daughter is married, and the guy cheats on him ultimately.
Right. Yeah.
I mean on her ultimately. So that's basically the dynamic. Yeah. And they're all living under one roof, and it's definitely rough for Manana.
Yes.
Everybody, on the other hand, looks perfectly chill with the situation.
Well, and even if they're agitated, they just are.
Maybe you have a thing here. Old.
Thank you, darling.
Okay, so what were we talking about?
Even when they're agitated,
Yeah,
because like the grandmother a couple times gets frustrated at the son eating out of the fridge, or just frustrated things in general with the family, and but she still kind of acts like that's just her everyday thing. It's almost like she's comfortable in that agitation. Yeah. Which
I believe is very true to the reality of motherhood, which she is. Lamara is the grandmother, right? And she lives. So she takes on a mother role. She's basically a stay-at-home mom. The actual mother, Manana, she's a teacher and she works during the day, and Lamara is there during the whole time taking care of everyone. I feel like women in general have this conflict. Like every single day is a mix of anger, frustration, just complete chaos. The chaos of having all of this, an entire load of carrying your family on your shoulders, really. But also that feeling that inclination that you have towards nurturing your family and giving yourself a lot. And so then you're kind of stuck in that middle ground of feeling guilty if you don't give too much, but also feeling super resentful for the fact that everyone has this insane reliance on you. So I think that Lamara, the grandmom, depicts that so well. She's super frustrated. She loves her family. And she's taking care of everyone. She wasn't even asked, because when Manana eventually leaves, she's like, well, you haven't even done anything. Like, I'm the one who's taking care of the entire family. And then Manana tells her, I didn't ask you to. No one asked you to take care, right, of all of us. And basically to give your life to all of us. And I think that really depicts motherhood a lot, where you just keep on giving, and even if nobody asks you, because you just have this feeling that, of course, the natural inclination to give, but also the guilt of the world that pressurizes you to give that much. I don't know. I love her. Actress is beautiful. She depicts that so nicely.
And that's what we were saying, is watching the movie, everyone is so natural in the role. Yeah. It's almost, I wonder if they had them all like living as a family for weeks or something, just to get comfortable bumping into each other and avoiding just getting used to each other's movements and steps, because they put you in like a family that's just lives every day with each other. Yeah. It gives you that feeling so, realistically.
Every single character in this movie is so fine-tuned. Yeah. Every single actor in this movie was magnificent. A lot of the times with actors, I think there's a lot of pressure to just go overboard and just give this insane and incredible performance, memorable performance, with the view to hopefully get an award. Right. But sometimes that can maybe it can take away from the actual role, and you can give more to the role than it needs. Yeah. So sometimes you're given a character that is just super subtle, and every single actor in this movie understood that. Yeah. It made me appreciate the movie and the actors so much, because they really respected and honored every single like person, their character, right?
Yeah.
So I would say the characters are absolutely fantastic. The movie, like the plot, it's also really great.
Yep.
The way that it was carried out, all it is just a woman is moving out. She's frustrated with the family, and that's it, and that's all you need.
Yeah. They give you a little brief idea of the hectic nature of the family.
Yeah, before she moves out.
Yeah, and you just see how she's, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then, again, very simple plot. Finding out it's a Georgian film.
It felt like, which is another thing, I really appreciate movies like this where I felt like I was just looking into, someone else's life. Like, I shouldn't be here. These people are just living their lives. You know what I mean? I felt like that. And it was just fantastic. Every single thing.
Yeah.
So
I love the scene where she meets someone from high school.
Yeah,
they haven't seen each other for years. She invites,
market.
hey, we should go. We're having a high school reunion. And then her again. I can imagine that's probably what a lot of people go through. And again, it's like, there is this kind of, I think humans have this curiosity to learn about people they used to know a long time ago and kind of see, because it's always an interesting thing to see where lives' trajectories take people.
Yeah.
But then everyone's just, maybe that could be very different from how they remember them in high school. Then there's all this just reminiscing, and then she meets up with these people. It's so much about nostalgia and reminiscing and longing and like, what could have been or what had, and then like they're all a little, I think, shook by life and a little, I don't know, like it's just interesting. Anyway, and then that's where she finds out that her husband had cheated on her.
Yeah.
Which she'd already moved out by that point.
This was the high school reunion.
Yeah.
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 Where she finds out that her husband cheats on her.
Which is interesting because the people were talking about it like it's no big deal, but I guess they just assumed she already knew.
Well, they assumed she knew because she said that she discloses to these high school friends that she's moved out and that she's very happy. So they, in their minds, because I mean, why are you going to leave?
Yeah.
They were, and they're like, oh, okay, well, obviously then that means she knows that this guy cheated and has a kid.
They wouldn't have thought she just moved out because she just couldn't take the family anymore, because that's a very uncommon thing. Like that's a lot of the theme. One of the themes of the movie is dealing with how the family deals with her breaking the orthodoxy of, they're like, wait, you don't just move out, especially for like, give us a reason, Yeah,
because it's a collectivist society, right? And in collectivist societies, that's how it works.
Yeah. There is no just getting space and taking time for yourself.
Yeah. Everybody, like your extension of your mom, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And why not live together and, under one roof?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they keep saying. They're like, he's a good, like, why is it wrong? What's the problem? Is it your husband? Is it like, are we not helping? Because they're trying to figure out all these ways and
like
and I think she's probably given up, I think, in trying to explain.
The family tries to figure out why she moved out. Manana is super, you can see her pain. Like, I love this actress. Her emotion is very palpable. You can see it. Like, it's very evident.
Yeah.
However, she doesn't need to cry for you to actually realize how heartbroken she is. Yeah. She does that very well. And when she does sing, I remember when she does eventually, the friend, one of the high school friends convinces her to sing. Man, that was such a great. That was one of my favorite scenes. Yeah. Well, number one, she has a beautiful voice, but number two, you could just feel the rawness of what she had just heard about her husband. Yeah. Yes, she'd already left, but I think that she. Later, I feel like there are things that kind of reveal that she does love him, but it's just that kind of that betrayal that she wasn't aware of before, and it's new and. It just, I guess, changes the dynamic of what her history was. Yeah. And so I think that's something very hard to grapple with, despite her moving out of the family home. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I like with movies like this too, where there's at one point, it got a little confrontational. We were getting a little nervous where near the end, the husband comes over to visit, kind of really trying to sort out, okay, what is it? What can I do to get you back? Or what can I do to understand? I want to at least see the place you're living in, my wife, in Manana's new apartment complex. Has this like security, like these guys watching.
Well, Rizzo, Manana's brother,
was
unhappy with Manana moving out.
That's right.
And he tries to convince her to move back home. Yeah. She doesn't want to. And then he enlists the support of these guys that live around there to watch over her and make sure that she doesn't, start seeing some other guys outside of her husband. Because of course, whatever she does goes back to the family. Right. And
which is why I think the brother is way too overly concerned, more than anyone else, it seems like, way too overly concerned with what she's doing, what Manana's doing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, of course, we would think that that she is, but in those kinds of societies, that is how things work. He's being a brother,
yeah.
And a lot of the times in those kinds of families, men have that pressure to maintain the family's honor. And so the dad is old. He cannot do all of those things. So of course Rizzo is going to be the one who takes over.
Right.
And so he's doing what is normal. Everything that you see in this movie, I think, is very true to collectivist societies. If you do have any idea of collectivist societies, you will realize that that's what's the case.
Very relatable.
Yeah, but if you don't come from a collectivist society, it's a great opportunity to learn. And I think it's important, I think, when you're watching movies like this, at this movie specifically, to go into it understanding that whatever you're going to see is not, don't assess the things that you see according to your reality if you're coming from an individualistic culture, like Western culture, for example. Don't assess it according to your reality, because it's totally not, it's not what not what it is, right?
But yeah, so that's what it was. The brother got those guys to be security for her. The husband comes up, they don't realize it's her husband, so they start to kind of almost get to the point of getting physical with him to get him out of the building. And then she opens the door and is like, that's my husband, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know? But I like that. Again, right? It's, again, where I think a lot of times movies that, American movies, even lesser, like more niche or art house movies in the States, still a lot of times there's still so much, like, response with violence or an impulse to put some kind of thing as, like, a climax, that something violent happens, you know? And it's nice that this movie, another movie we're watching, where it gets tense, there's conflict, and then it simmers down, you know, because it doesn't always end in a fist fight. It doesn't always end with a gun being pulled, you know. Yeah, again, just adds to the realism of it that I like.
Yeah. Even Lamara's frustrations with being the main caregiver, right? She complains about things like the scene that killed me, it murdered me. It was when she's complaining about Manana's son eating out of the fridge and always having it so that all the cherries or like cherry sauce or something drips like onto the fridge, and then he doesn't clean it, and she gets so irritated. Why do you have to eat it out of the fridge? Just put it in a container and eat it, you know? And that just killed me. She was just perfect. She just expressed that frustration so much. It was just incredibly, it was insane, honestly. And I feel like that's not even just a collectivist thing. Every single mom has done that, I think, you know? And she just, it was really, really funny. Like all of these things are so funny. Whenever Lamara is in a scene, I am dying. Or the dad. I love the dad. One scene when he's like, oh yeah. So one time, at this point, Manana has moved out, and she goes back to the house because there's been an accident,
Right.
And I think her dad was hit in the head with a pot or something, and then Manana's husband Soso's like, well, you're always talking about how, was it Manana's husband? Someone says you're always talking about how you want to die. And
he's like, yeah, sure, I say that, but I didn't mean like get was it my head smashed in by my granddaughter? Threw a pot at me.
Like I don't remember. It's unfortunate I don't remember exactly how she put it, but it was a great part. It was super funny. Every single thing, my God, it really felt like you were watching a family, like a documentary type of thing.
I was just gonna bring up again, like I really like that style where, whether she's at the family reunion or she's in the marketplace or she's, you know, going to rent out an apartment, it's just like, it's a documentary.
Yeah. God. I feel like I'm just going to watch movies like just from Georgia or Georgian movies from here onwards. I think the thing that even if you don't come from that kind of culture, you can relate to being in a situation that only you understand. Because Manana is frustrated out of her mind. And the entire family has no inkling as to what the heck is wrong. Like, why are you moving out? They think everything is okay. I feel like, which I think a lot of people must probably have experienced something like that. And, you know, you can't explain, and it's not even worth it, which is the thing that I really like about her, because a lot of the times for me, I wanted to explain to people, especially if people thought that, oh, did I do something wrong? And I like that she just doesn't do it, you know? She's just like, I just want to move out. That's it. Nothing bad happened. It's just, this is just basically for me. In a lot of relationships, you'll find people that give more and people that take more. Everybody has that kind of, you know, they play that kind of role. And a lot of the times you're doing things because you feel like you're inclined to do it. You feel like you have to do that. I don't know why it is that you feel like you have to do it, but you feel like you have to do it. And then with other people, because they don't have the pressure of, being the ones that are giving a lot, they just take it. They give you what you get, what you give. And I think that's depicted in the movie.
Yeah.
For example, with Lamara giving way too much to the family, and everybody else just kind of like, taking from her.
Or Manana.
No, Lamara.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Lamara.
Yeah.
With Manana, I mean, I feel like I think with Manana, it wasn't necessarily her giving too much.
It was more that it was overwhelming, the hecticness and the dysfunction and the noise of it all.
Yeah, it's
and
loud.
The no space,
no space, exactly. But so there's just a lot of relational dynamics, I think, that are depicted in that movie.
Yeah.
That, the giving and the taking too much.
Yeah.
Lamar gives way too much, and nobody asks her to do that,
Yeah.
but she just has this feeling that she has to do it, even though it's clear that it frustrates her.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think Manana is very, I don't know, she has really great boundaries, Manana.
She does.
Because she lives in this family, and the family dynamic is such that, you do have that moms are supposed to give way too much and everybody else is supposed to take. She's like, no, I'm not going to do that. She's super drained.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe she was doing it before.
Yeah. And then
we just see her as she is drained, and she's just like,
finally
I'm done.
ready to give herself that space.
Yeah, so maybe, but she's so exhausted from it. There's no space. The kids are living there. I mean, I remember the kids are really adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the daughter is married, and I remember when the daughter is like, what's going on with you and dad? And she's like, and Manana is like, listen, you have your own family to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Don't be concerned about my own family. You are an adult woman,
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think, so.
Yeah, there's that scene where they bring a bunch of, like, the brother's friends over that she doesn't want. She doesn't want a party for her birthday. And at the end, they're all like, oh, what are you doing? How could you be leaving your husband or leaving this family? And then the kids are trying to defend her, but they're also confused too. And there's a lot of yelling going around. She's just like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
It's very relatable for anyone that has felt in any family or friend circle or work thing where you feel like there's something off and everyone else seems totally cool with it and it's driving you crazy. Maybe you can't put your finger on it. Maybe you can, but you seem to be the only one that's like, I need to change things.
Yeah. Manana is that.
Yeah, it goes without saying that it's 10 ripe tomatoes.
10
easily.
out of 10 ripe tomatoes, easily.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just mint. It was clutch. It was gold. It was platinum and all the other words. Yeah.
Love this movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's that.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye time.
Okay, goodbye time.